Here we are with another episode of Talking Sports with the Legend. Today's guest doesn't need much introduction to most of you guys out there, but all of you guys out there, but some of you guys who don't know, this is Anthony Gargano, works at 97.5 The Fanatic, former writer for numerous newspapers around the country. Go ahead, Legend.
Thanks for doing this for me.
Legend, I love you, Legend. You're the man, baby.
Where did you grow up?
So I grew up, Legend, in this area between South Philly and then Washington Township, New Jersey. And I was always a lifelong Phillies fan, Flyers fan, Sixers fan, and of course, Birds fan. Just like you. And in fact, you and I were birthday brothers.
Yes.
Wait, Steve, tell him how old you thought he was.
40.
Oh, I love you.
I told you, Steve. Go ahead, buddy.
Where did you go to college, and what was your major?
So I went to Temple University, and I was an English major. So first, I started off, Legend, St. Joe's, right? And they wanted me to be a food marketing guy. And I was like, I just like sports. I want to write about sports. And my father said, you'll never get a job writing about sports. So I went to Temple. He was kind enough to say, all right, I'll let you go to Temple and I'll help you get through school. And I was very lucky along the way so I could realize my dream.
Where did you go to high school?
I went to Pope Paul VI in Jersey. I went to my Catholic school. They were called the Eagles.
What age did you start playing sports?
I started playing sports, probably when I was 3 years old. All I ever wanted to do was play ball. That's it. Legend. I just love playing ball, buddy.
And
Did he play in high school?
what was your first job on the radio?
So what happened, I was a writer. I'm going to tell you all, I don't want to bore you, but when I was working for the Burlington County Times as a stringer, right? Then I went to Chicago to work for the Associated Press. And I started working for this paper in Chicago. So I was working for a newspaper, and then I was working for the Associated Press. So I covered Michael Jordan. I covered the Bears, the Cubs, right? And then I got a job with the New York Post to cover the Mets. And I hated the Mets, but listen, it was a good job, right? So I was covering baseball. I was flying around, doing a lot of stuff. And the Mets were so bad, they stunk so bad that my boss, the sports editor, said, hey, Anthony, we like your writing. Would you like to write these long pieces every Sunday? And I said, yeah, I would love it. And so then I started to do these features, and I did a lot of different sports, the NBA, the NFL, a lot of college. So I would travel around the country, and I would write about all these big stories. And I would write these like 10,000 word stories for Sundays. So that was a fun job. And then I went to work for the Inquirer because I thought at one point I wanted to be a foreign correspondent. And I went for an interview with the New York Times, and they told me that I needed to get cleansed from the Post. So they go, you need to work for a real newspaper. Go work for the Philadelphia Inquirer. So I worked for the Inquirer, and then I got called to work for WIP. So I started working for WIP. They offered me a job. I said, no, I like to write. And then finally, they offered me a lot more money than I was making. So I decided to take it. And that was 22 years ago.
Wow. what's your favorite sports? What's your favorite team to cover?
I don't know, man. Legend. I love them all. So I love the Eagles, right? I love the Sixers. I love the Phillies. I love what you're wearing right now. That's a great jersey. It's a great hat. And I love the Flyers. So I really do. I'll be honest with you. I almost view them. I have two sons. And so I almost view sports like my sons. So I can't choose between them. Like I love them all equally. I really do. I love every different sport, and for every season gets me excited. Like, did you like today? Nick Castellanos was announced to Philly, right? And I'm thinking about that lineup with Castellanos and Harper and Schwarber and Reese and JT and Bohm. I'm getting excited like you. Like I can't wait for the Phillies, man.
Mm.
What do you think? You think we got the playoffs, buddy?
World Series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, legend.
Oh,
Need up.
who's your favorite
That's a good one. Yeah. Who was your favorite?
athlete to interview?
So right now it's Joel Embiid. So I love talking to Joel. He's really interesting. He's really smart. He tells great stories. Probably my most favorite all-time athletes to interview. I interviewed Michael Jordan a bunch of times. I thought he was a lot of fun. I went to practice with Kobe Bryant, and me and Kobe, I rode in his car. He was driving to the airport in Los Angeles. So I drove with Kobe in his car back to his house, and we were doing a story together. I was doing a story on him. So I really loved Kobe. Dan Marino was a lot of fun. He was a real interesting guy, a lot of fun to cover. And I like a lot of the coaches, right? I met a lot of coaches, and I like coaches because I like the idea of how they're going to think about the game. So I got to sit down with Pat Riley and Phil Jackson and Andy Reid and a lot of the great Jimmy Johnson, a lot of the great coaches. And those guys, you learn so much about the game, legend. You know, like when you hear those guys and you listen to them, you learn a lot.
How many jobs did you have in sports
Total.
Man, a lot of jobs, buddy. I still have a lot of jobs. I'll tell you one of my favorites. So I was a writer and I still write, and I've written books and I've written long stories, and I've worked for Fox 29 TV, and I work for Fox National on the radio, and I've done some work for ESPN, and I'm proud of all that. It's all been fun. One of my favorite things though, so legend, two things, right? One, when I was at the paper in New York, the players were on strike. They were striking at that point.
Oh, wow.
And this was way back in '94. And I got a chance to play for the Mets scab team. That was a lot of fun. It was only a couple times. It was during spring training in 1995. And then the real players came in. But it was fun to play ball. And then the other time, I used to do a show with Howie Roseman. And me and Howie he had to go to Los Angeles to scout UCLA and USC. So we go, and he said, do me a favor. He had somewhere to go. He said, can you watch practice at UCLA and USC? I was like, yeah, no problem. So they gave me a pass, Anthony Gargano, scout, Philadelphia Eagles. And I was like, oh, this is awesome, man. And there was a guy named Ed Ogeron who wound up coaching LSU, and they call him Coach O. And he was the coach of USC at the time. And it was so much fun, legend, being I was a scout for a day, and I wrote up a report, the whole thing. That was a great time.
How did
When?
when did you get hired by the Fanatic?
So this was, man, 2015, 16. I think it was 2016. And they asked me to come over to do the show in the morning. And I didn't know if I should do it. And I decided to do it. And it's all worked out nicely. And it's fun. I had a great time at WIP. And I have a great time now at the Fanatic. I just love talking sports in Philadelphia. You know, I get to meet guys like you. You know what I mean? Like, it's great.
You know where else Anthony works now, Steve?
Oh,
Remember I told you? How close are we to the one casino? What's it called?
oh, Parks.
Yeah, ask him about,
Yeah, man.
about Parks.
You got to come see me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
When are you there, Anthony?
Oh, I would love that.
What day
I would
are you-
love that, brother.
what day of the week are you there? Is it different every week or?
No. So we're there. It's only different because of the tournament, but we're there every Thursday from 6 to 7. Now, tomorrow we're in college Malvern, because there's a new Chickies
Yes.
with a new Parks in Malvern. But normally we're going to right in Ben Salem.
Yes.
So where do you how far are you from Ben Salem?
About 10-minute ride from our house to there. We're in Huntington Valley. And
Oh yeah, sure.
we're actually,
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I gotta see. Come on, I need my boys.
yeah.
we
I gotta see you guys,
will
man.
be there. I went up Sunday to cash a ticket in that me and him won some money on Liverpool. And I cashed that in and put down $20 on
Did you go
Villanova.
back today or
I'm gonna
not?
go back later on today after dinner. Me and the legend are gonna ride up and we're gonna roll it all
Yeah.
over onto the, you know who they're playing, Steve? Villanova.
Michigan State.
Michigan.
And the
Michigan.
woman lost to them.
I know. And
Yeah.
Michigan.
Yeah.
You know the assistant coaches at Michigan?
Mm.
Yes, you do.
Oh,
Yeah. You got it.
Joe Martelli.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna roll it all over, Anthony. You think it's a good bet?
I love it. I love it.
That's what I said. And I told my wife after that, we're gonna roll that into the next game. We think Steven thinks they're gonna go all the way, right, bud?
Yeah, win it all.
Win it all.
I love it, Stevie. I love it, legend.
Yeah.
I'm with you, man. I think the same thing, buddy.
There you go, man. So what you want to ask him your favorite question that you ask everybody
Oh,
at the end?
yeah.
Go ahead.
Remember,
What else do you want to ask him?
remember at the restaurants? You came up with that idea?
The restaurant?
Favorite restaurant?
Yeah, go ahead. Ask him that one.
What's your favorite restaurant?
Oh, listen, I like food, man. All right. So there's a couple of them, right?
Mhm.
So I love a place called the Grand Cafe L'Aquila. It's on 17th and Chestnut, and it's got real Italian food, right? But it also has the great gelato, which is amazing. Oh my God, legend. You'll love it. It's delicious. There's also a place in South Philly, because South Philly's got a lot of great restaurants, right?
Mm.
So I love all my South Philly restaurants. There's the Laver 2, right? There's Maris on Passyunk Avenue, Stogie Joe's. There's all the great, Chickies and Pete's. Like, we love our Philly restaurants, man.
Anything else you want to ask him? I want to ask him that one.
If you could have with
Dinner.
dinner with three.
Three anybody, like because he likes all sports, so it doesn't matter.
So 3 athletes or coaches. You could be dead or alive. Who would they be and why?
Wow, that's a good question, man. That's a good question. All right. But first, before I give you the 3, you got to be there with me, all right?
Yeah.
All right, my man. All right. So I think I would go Vince Lombardi,
Oh yeah.
because I'm always interested in like really brilliant football minds.
Mhm.
And I can imagine back then I'd be curious to what he would be thinking, right?
Mhm.
So I think Vince Lombardi would be in football. I think I would choose basketball. Listen, I love Jordan, and I covered him a little bit, and he was a lot of fun. So I know Michael would be great to have and hang out with. So I would probably choose Jordan, but I got to get my Philly guys, right? So, you know, I love Iverson and Charles Barkley, because Charles is always fun. I know I'm going overboard, but I always do that, buddy. I think I would take Larry Boa and Charlie Manuel, who are the greatest, right? Those guys are the best. And I would take Bobby Clark from the Flyers and Lindros, and I would, although not the same table because you never know. And I'm a big Andy Reid. I love Andy, so I would probably have Andy at dinner. Plus, he would pick up the check.
So, so Steven, show him where you were invited to.
Maxwell Woods.
Wow, get out!
Yeah, Steven,
that's awesome, legend.
Tell him who you met.
Brian Dawkins.
Yeah, and a private reception with Steve and one of his lifelong friends he went to school with. They were invited by a group called AHA that they got a table from the guy who runs the whole shebang. And Steven interviewed him about a year ago, Steve. And he invited us last year, and he goes, it got canceled. He goes, so I want you there next year. So we kind of like forgot all about it. And then all of a sudden we got a call from the guy, and he says, you guys are invited. So we rented Steve a tuxedo. And the guy was, he
told me to shake his hand. He told him no, Dawkins.
He said, I'm not shaking his hand. And I said, oh, what is he going to do? And he said, I'm going to give him a hug. And Steven hugged him, and Dawkins grabbed him just like, you know, you would grab him. And he was a great man. Steve, tell him the guy we met.
I love it.
Tell him the big guy. Do you remember his name? The big guy we met, the Outland Award winner. He went to Georgia. Jordan Davis.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anthony, he was as big as me and Steve. If I put Steven on my shoulders, I think he was the same size as us.
Oh, that's so cool, man.
Who else
Nick Singleton, the running back.
The running back. Oh God,
freshman.
He's a senior. He's a senior in high school.
Going to be a freshman at Penn State. They said
he was the first one ever to win 3 Maxwell Awards as a high school. He won the high school player of the year. He's going to Penn State next year. He won the outstanding high school athlete, the outstanding offensive, and he was a running back. But I think I said I hope he plays linebacker at Penn State, because you know them running backs. I mean, Brian Westbrook was there. He met Brian Westbrook, and Westbrook, you know, had him. He had how great a career he had. 14 years, I think he was in the NFL. And I try to explain to Steven, if you play linebacker, you can last 18 years and be successful, and you don't get trashed to the side unless you play for the Eagles, I guess. Right, Steve? We like the defensive guys, right, Steve?
I made that. He's wearing the shoes.
Steven wanted my wife and I to let him wear sneakers, because my wife said, no, you don't wear sneakers with tuxedos. I said, I'm telling you, that's the way the guys do it now.
Westbrook did it.
Westbrook had sneakers on. All these guys had sneakers on, right, Steve?
Yeah.
And I told him.
I know you look sharp, buddy.
Yeah, he did. So we got to go down to the station one day, right, Steve?
Yes.
We're gonna make a date. I'm off on Wednesdays now, so we'll try to make a date for a Wednesday.
I would love it. You got my telephone number, right?
All right, Steve, you got it?
No, his email.
We'll send. He'll email you his phone number, and then we'll call him off. When he's not on the air, and we'll set something up. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna email. I'll make sure I email you my phone number. And this way, anytime you got to come out and hang out with us. Okay?
Oh, we're definitely going. We're going to be there next Thursday. That's going to be the next time you're up at Parks, right?
Yes.
Yes. So we're making a plan to go up there, because my daughter can drive them. I work in South Philly. By the time I get home,
leave at 4:30.
I'll leave at 4:30. Okay, I'll tell my boss. Tell my boss.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Oh, what do you say to our?
Thank you, man.
Anthony,
oh my God! Thank you for having me. It
We
was
appreciate-
awesome.
Man.
We appreciate you moving the time up and everybody, because we don't do this live. So just so everybody knows, Anthony took some extra time out of his schedule and moved up so he could have the legend early, right, Steve?
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you so
Well, I
much.
wanted to make sure. I really wanted to make sure that we could hang out and there was no time limits. And I just think you're amazing, dude. I really do. And I think you're awesome. And I met Dad, and Dad's a great, great man. I mean, I'm just honored to be with you guys.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Anthony.
son.
Could look
Yeah,
forward to
yeah.
meeting you, Stephen, meeting you in
Yeah.
person, right, buddy?
Yes.
I would love it, buddy.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Anthony.
you, man.
Thanks, guys.
Brilliant.
God bless your boys.
Thanks, brothers.
Take care,
See
See you
man.
guys.
Thank you. Good job.